Welcome back to another episode of the MU Preview. I'm Daria and Elijah. This week I'm here with Lacrosse's senior midfielder, Gianna. Alright, welcome. Okay, so last week against Mount St. Mary's, you guys had a great first half on the defensive side of the ball. How did that help with this great start to the second half?
I think that our team is really good at feeding off of each other, so if defense makes a huge play or if Katie in goal makes a huge save, it kind of transitions into the attacking end, and I feel that they feed off of us and we feed off of them. It's kind of a great team effort for all of us, so when one's doing well, we know that the other one needs to step up and do well for them as well.
Yeah, definitely. Now, this weekend you guys are heading to Western PA to take on Robert Morris and St. Francis in conference games. How are you going to keep up your momentum to come away with the win from these two games?
Going into this weekend, it's a huge weekend for us. We've lost to Robert Morris the past 2 years, so we definitely want revenge on them, but we just know that we need to stay focused and deal with the little things, and if we do the little things right, we'll come away with 2 big wins this weekend. So.
Now, as a senior captain this season, how do you try and lead your team to another championship?
It's definitely hard. We have a target on our back at all times, but I think that Erica and I do a very good job of talking with the coaches as well as the team, and I think the seniors our senior leadership overall is just phenomenal, so I think that helps us as well. And sometimes we do have to be, the bad guy on the field a little bit and, yell sometimes when we're doing something wrong, but I think that the team responds well to us and everybody is just on the same page, and we know that we're doing everything to get a win. So really, we all have the ultimate goal at the end, which is winning the NEC, so we know that no matter what happens, we do what we need to do to get the win. So.
Well, now speaking of winning championship, you guys came off of an NEC championship last year. Have you guys felt any pressure to bring the ring home again?
Definitely. I mean, there's definitely a target on your back. We had I believe it was 8 first place votes this year in the poll, and that's a huge target on our back, and all the coaches I know are kind of going, targeting each other, calling each other, and figuring out what they can do to beat us. And I think if we just play our game, it doesn't matter what other teams can do, because we have so many people that can step up. If they're taking away one thing, we have another thing to go at teams with. So I think it's definitely hard, but I know that every day on the field we work so hard, and I think we deserve it again this year, so hopefully we can come on.
Good luck.
Thanks.
And thank you for being with us. So now we're going to take it over to Elijah, who's with Sam Savona.
Thank you, Daria. I'm Elijah Phillips, and I'm here with senior Sam Savona, attacker for the Hawks. Getting into the season, coming off an NEC championship last year, what motivation does that give you going into this season?
Well, definitely we have to come out every single day, play our best. Like Gianna said, Daria, definitely we have a huge target on our back, so everyone's kind of out to get us. But definitely what motivates us is getting another ring on our finger towards the end of the season.
I don't blame you. Into the season, you have 9 goals thus far. What do you think your role is for your team?
Well, definitely, we have defenders, midfielders, attackers. I'm more of an attacker, like you said. And my role is obviously to put the ball in the back of the cage. So we have specific girls that feed the ball to each other, drivers, and my role is basically catching and shooting. So kind of cutting, looking for Emily or Cassie to get me the ball, and just finishing it off with a goal.
Okay. So would Cassie and Emily be one of the drivers that you were talking about, or they attackers?
Cassie and Emily more of feeders, crease rollers. We have Kaylee Gibbons, Erica, Allie, Mariel, who are kind of mainly the girls that drive. They also look for cutters as well as me, Danielle, Rack. So we have a lot of girls that are huge threats, like Gianna said. So, definitely an attacker.
Okay. And going into this, I've seen that you were a transfer student from FDU, and you also were a 2-sport athlete. So what is the experience like starting over at a new school and starting over with a new team?
It's definitely hard. Playing 2 sports in college in general is a lot. You go from one season to the next. It's 2 different seasons, basketball, lacrosse. Keeping up with schoolwork is very difficult, of course. And then you get to a different school, so you have to start with a whole new team. You have to learn the environment of just the area of where you're going. Monmouth is more of a beach area, where at FDU it's more kind of like a town, obviously, not really a beach scene, but here connecting with new players, definitely proving yourself on the team, connecting with other players. It's definitely difficult, but it's totally worth it in the end.
And upcoming, you have Robert Morris on the schedule. Last year they pulled out a last-second goal to beat you guys. So what is your personal motivation going into this game?
Personally, I just definitely want to come out with the win against them. I just kind of want to rub it in their face, kind of say, you are not getting it this year, and come home, like Gianna said, with 2 wins this weekend.
Well, that'll be all. And we're going to go to the Monmouth Minute. Again, this is senior Sam Savona, and I'm Elijah Phillips.
All right, now for this segment of Monmouth Minute, we're going to ask Sam and Gianna questions, and they have to think of the first thing that comes to mind.
If someone were to write a book about you, what would the title be?
Gigi Durst. That's it. Plain and simple.
Definitely Special Sam. I think you can understand that in my team.
All right, and what song best describes you?
Oh, God. What song?
Mine would be We Hit Turbulence. Just because, you know, Jersey, North Jersey, get it going type of thing.
Last question. Would you rather have fingers as long as legs or legs as long as fingers?
Oh, I guess maybe fingers as long as legs? Because legs would be really, you need those for everything. At least legs you could like maybe move.
I think I agree. I think the other thing would be a little awkward.
Yeah, you gotta move still, so you can move double the amount. It's better.
Well, thank you for joining us again. This is Daria and Deluccia, Sam Savona, Gianna, and Elijah Phillips. To catch up on more information about all of our Hawks teams, you can go on GoReviewHawks.com